So the other day I caught up with an old friend, and we had a couple of beers, and we got to chatting on a few things. And he kind of noticed that in the middle of the conversation, I wasn't really paying attention. I was on my phone and I was shifting some money around in my brokerage account. And he happened to glance at my emergency fund when I put my phone down on the table and hadn't locked the screen. And yeah, he was pretty spun out by it. And we got to talking, and he never understood how I'd managed to put the money away when he'd had a lot higher paying job than what I did and still does. And when we kind of got through this, we had the conversation about budgeting and spending money. And essentially what I want to spit is just the same idea that I gave him, and that is to have a no-spend month. And I guess 3 key areas where we've managed to save money at home and, grow our investment portfolio. First thing that stuck out to me was that often I catch him, if I'm getting fuel once a week of a morning, I'll see him at the servo and he'll spend like $20 to $25 on lunch and smoko that day. And I know he does this every single day. So we're talking $20, $25 a week. That's $100, $125 for the week just there. That could be saved. The next thing, and I know this is kind of cliche and everyone's going to be like, oh, that doesn't make that big a difference, but just hear me out, is coffee. So my local coffee shop charged $7.20 for a large cappuccino. Don't get me wrong, it's really good coffee. But I managed to find a machine on Kogan, and I'll throw that on the screen now. And it was $180 when I brought this machine. So essentially, I drink at least 2 cups of coffee a day. And if you do the math, I think it costs like 30 cents to make a cup of coffee. But if you compare that against buying 2 cups for $7.20 a day, I paid that machine off in 14 days. And I have almost just as good a coffee at home. And I can't fathom spending that much on coffee, like $7.20 a day. It's nearly $15 a day just there. And you can take this money and you could either invest it or you could go ahead and stack it for 30 days. We'll get to that a bit later on. The third and final thing for me is obviously if you have a significant other in your life, you want to show them that they're appreciated. Big one for us is date nights. Now, in the past, I have done and still on occasion do massively splurge on date nights. I'm talking island getaways, big seafood platters, all those things. But you can do cheap things that are just as meaningful as well. Thankfully, my wife doesn't pay too much attention to this channel, so I'm safe to say this. But I've gone and organised almost like an at-home paint and sip. I'm not very creative. I can't paint for shit. So essentially, I found this website that makes these really cool and impressive looking paint by numbers kits. From there, go and buy a little bit of alcohol, do up like a snack platter, boom, boom, there's date night for the month sorted. And so, I really want to encourage you, is there somewhere in your life, if you look over your budget and look back through the last 30 days of spending, is there somewhere you can tighten up? Like, are you being honest with yourself? All of a sudden, if you can find a way to save $100, $200 a week, that's going to be $800 at the end of the month. That's a decent amount of stocks you can buy. That's extra money you can go ahead and put on the car payment or the credit card debt if you're trying to get out of debt. And people are going to say it's going to be boring, but there's plenty of hobbies that are cheap, if not free. Get on Google and look up free things to do and put your city name. You'll be surprised at some of the awesome events that you'll find around. And just try and be frugal for 30 days. I challenge you to do that. Come back to me. I know there's going to be some negative people in the comments that are saying I'm living as tightly as I can. And hey, that may be the case. And if that is the case, I'm sorry for that. And, there's always ways around this, but let me know your thoughts down below. As always, if you've gotten anything out of this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one.